I can't believe I let myself go so badly, all because nobody wants to be considerate enough. Like, do you know what I mean? You're just promoting depression, obviously, because there's nothing else to live for. You look outside, it's fucking ridiculous. Even this is just exciting to live for. Oh my fuck. Like, like seriously. To the extent of just this complete obliviousness to the real fact of just me speaking for myself. All I get is every physical hindrance sort of shoved into my eyeballs, and it's just like, well, sick. The very thing you can do is mind fuck someone to the point where you know what? What's the point of having a nose, an eyeball, a mouth, anything? Is you'd rather take advantage of the very thing that's supposed to connect upon, are we? And waste our time by wasting money towards useless endeavours, and waste my time significantly by I just hate this concept of being a mascot or just this poster child, or I just hate that idea really extremely. So much so, I don't want to be anyone's friend. I'm actually disgusted with the idea of being around anybody, to be honest. I'm actually repulsed. I think I'd rather be on my own, to be honest, for a while now. I don't even answer to anybody anymore, because you know what the significance is basically. You're going to play some retarded ass script and think it just seems appropriate because you know what, you're too retarded to even believe it's necessary. I mean, if you had a son of your own and you thought this was just a solution, I'd think that you're a pretty shit father to begin with, and maybe I will have you fucking. What's that old? It's not the sun, disowning, but what is it? Oh yeah, you still can disown. I mean, what purpose is it now when you're worth so much to the entire world that won't leave you alone and give you peace? Because ultimately, when you find yourself inhaling smoke, you can just tell nobody even cares. You've wasted your time being an idiot, and now you leave me completely passionless about what I was originally doing with my life, because if you can get on with your own sad, pathetic lives. And so you invade mine intentionally with the sole purpose of doing what exactly? By cornering me and putting me into an unpleasant scenario, situation, to make me feel even more disgusted of myself. I mean, clearly no one else is an observationalist like me. If you could just simply acknowledge my terrible skin and bad teeth, you'd realise, you know what, this is your fault. It makes sense, you know what I mean? It makes perfect sense, but if I had to digress, why is it someone else's fault? You'd be playing the dumb card, of course. That's your wild card, realistically, it's just people playing dumb, and I thought it's about being real with each other and being truthful, but no. We're just so obsessed with being pricks, and that's just what we get off to clearly every single day, is being pricks. That's what I used to get off to doing, is being a prick, but now I'm just like, you know, I want to move on and I want to be a model, sort of. Without pay, of course. You don't need to get paid. That's just the saddest thing for a model, is to actually think you need to get paid. You don't need to get paid, you sad fuck. If you look good, you can feel good. You don't need money. You don't need that shit. We see those cliches of those people who look good and they get anything in their life. So you think all it would take was some nice skin and thick teeth, and boom, you'd have basic human privileges. But otherwise, you know what? Just be the representative for just England's pathetic healthcare system. That's all it is, basically, isn't it? Wasting my time with just people that just rather have me listen to bullshit like, "Hi, how may I help you?" And then you look back at their face and you're like, "Oh wow, I don't know, maybe get on my level first off, and then actually have a real thing to say other than just repeated nonsense that nobody wants to hear, because ultimately no one likes to have the same conversation be reiterated in the same instances of just like, oh, everyone's just a sad little shopkeeper, aren't they, in their own little world, reiterating the same shit, and ultimately, thank fuck, I'd never have to work your job ever in my life. I don't have to do anything ever again. All thanks to you, you leave me with such ugly disdain marks that could be easily removed. And inhaling so much smoke, you'd rather have me pinned into a corner of just absolute devastation, destroying my lungs slowly and having me collapse, because nobody cares about health anymore, clearly. You know, health is such an important factor, and if we actually all tried, maybe we'd all get somewhere, but no. The motivation is that be lazy, you fuck. And you know what? I could easily bounce back, but it's the sad reality of it is that no one really cares when you let yourself go. That's the sad thing. If you see your mate get overweight, no one actually cares. And so even if I did bounce back, which I will probably anyways, because I'm dope as fuck, you're all just going to be shit anyways, because you know what, you can't just see the reality, you know what. Could just look a little bit nicer, couldn't I? But no, waste my useless breath on people that don't need to exist in my world. You know, the amount of people I just discard like a bunch of fucking FIFA cards because they're just so terrible. Just terrible, man, just terrible. I mean, their defense might be quite high, but their pace, even my pace is pretty low because you know what? It's hard when you can't even breathe. Anywhere you go, you feel like you're constantly suffocating. You can't have your own world. No one wants to leave you alone. They think they're being nice to you, but they can't. They failed the very first sentence to be nice to you. So then what, you find yourself inhaling shit, like literal shit. And so what, it's just like repossessing my feelings, is it now? Constantly freaking me out, making me feel uncomfortable as fuck. You know what, I can't wait till I just start saying sexism every single time, every statement, because you know what, that's just how it feels. If I can't be who I want to be, then it's just blatantly stigmatization. Everyone has to be masculine now. Everyone has to be Chris Bumstead, C-bum in my skin. Everyone has to be always considered an inspiration. Realistically, they're not an inspiration, they're just doing it because they feel good about it. So they feel attracted to themselves and fuck. So the reason why someone would work out in the first place, it's obvious. But instead, the main takeaway is that, you know what, if no one can fix your skin, no one wants to be part of the same circle that enjoys life in a very enjoyable way, of course. Of course. We are very visual creatures, and so when we find ourselves expressing too much like this, we're either a comedian, well, that's it really. Otherwise, you're just this face. You're just a poker face. You just carry your life around, constantly enjoying that one frame that you sit in, whether you were naturally athletic or just you learn to breathe correctly. Otherwise, you find yourself sort of staring at a fucking whiteboard and thinking you're absorbing every bit of knowledge, when ultimately most kids at 14 found themselves drinking, smoking, and doing all sorts of stuff, and you just were left with completely absolute fuck all. And so when the whole group leaves you behind, you end up being stuck on some certain misdemeanors, and instead they take it away from you as if they're so entitled, and now you've just won the game somehow, but it still isn't in your favour. Still isn't in my favour to get an x-ray from a doctor about seeing what my lungs look like. If there's any like, when you only go for an x-ray, and it's like a thermal observation of it's either thermal white or like black dots or something like that. I don't fucking know. I'm not a doctor, you see, but it'd be nice to know. It was really sweet that somebody had to give me that attitude of like, I think you should leave, really, and then slowly lose my lungs. You hate me that much, clearly. Nothing else to say to me, obviously. Otherwise you'd be a little bit more nicer towards me, but no. That's always good, that's always reassuring. My phone just vibrated, I'm not sure what that was, but I'm sure it wasn't anything good. Never is anything good anyways. Can't wait to upload this video, at least at the site that I uploaded it to begin with. And knowing that I let myself go so badly, I can't even be myself anymore. Because I hate myself that much every single day. All thanks to no consideration from anybody else around me, and rather have me in pain every single day, to the point where, you know what, you're going to hold me back on certain words I want to say to everybody else, because you know what, this world is just so child friendly, as if you can't just say violent words. I mean, what's it do realistically? You can just say some toxic stuff and boom, at least you're getting some sort of testosterone boost from just yelling all the time and screaming. Otherwise, babysitting all emotions, old emotions and whatnot. There really isn't anything else special to life other than just sort of patheticness and people that just don't really want to have the same sensations that they have because you know what, they're just greedy little fucks, aren't they? They don't have anything else to live for. They're just humiliating those that can't attain certain aspects. I can't just suddenly squeeze my face and boom, they just all fucking pop out. No, you can't just like pray and then have your teeth just fixed in the middle of the night, can you? That's how life works, I'm afraid. You have to deal with the consequences of being raised like a shit cunt. That's good to know. Really good to know, actually. Yeah.